Hello, and welcome back to the Mound Visit podcast. Today, we're going to be wrapping up this weekend's NFL games along with the college football playoffs, our thoughts on it, and then our daily Mound Visit.
Starting off with some college football, some basic garbage. Ole Miss beat Tulane 41-10, so they advance. Washington State beat whoever they were playing in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl 34-21. UNLV will face Ohio in the Frisco Bowl tonight. Ferris State won the D2 title, which was their fourth championship in 5 years. And now gamble if you'd like to talk about Notre Dame and Jeremiah Love, USC, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, I believe, both just declared for the draft. So that's Notre Dame's 1 and 2 running backs that they won't have next year. Although Williams is a really good running back, and I bet you they'll hit the portal or have another incoming freshman or have like a redshirt freshman that's really good. Notre Dame's always been really good with running backs. Also, I just saw this yesterday that University of Southern California, USC, who has had a long-standing, almost 100-year rivalry with Notre Dame that started in 1926. They played 96 games, only missing COVID and World War II. USC has pulled out of the scheduled games against Notre Dame for the next 2 years. And their reasoning behind it was the college football playoff committee looks down on late season losses, and they don't want to have a late season loss. Well, they don't like the timing that they played Notre Dame. They'd rather play them earlier in the year because the committee's not going to look that harshly on an early season loss, you would think. But they look down on late season ones more often than not. And Notre Dame has historically dominated that rivalry with 51 wins to USC's 37.
And you were mentioning earlier that how long has that been going on? You said 100 years, but they've only missed a few different appearances.
They've played 96 times, and it's been going on since 1926 when the wives of the head coaches shook each other's hands and agreed that they would play every year. And they usually play that game in rivalry week.
Interesting. Do you know any of the upcoming games for the college football playoffs or no? Any of the matchups?
I know JMU and Tulane got absolutely destroyed this weekend. A&M choked at home. There were some missed calls that game that went Miami's way. But how poorly both of those teams played, it was hard to watch. It was a snooze fest until the fourth quarter. Alabama came back down 17 to OU. OU blew a big lead at home and lost, so both those teams move on. Who does Ohio State play? I think Ohio State plays Oregon. I can look that up.
I just saw Oregon. Oh, Oregon blew out James Madison 51-34.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss blew out Tulane, like you mentioned, 41-10. Miami
And Ole Miss
Texas
already
A&M
blew out. Like they already blew out Tulane earlier this year.
Right. Texas A&M and Miami played. Great game to watch. So good I fell asleep in the middle of it. Miami won 10-3. Ohio State plays Miami now. So maybe Ohio State can murder Miami for you.
Yeah, Miami
and all the
is
Notre
going to
Dame
get
fans.
knocked out this round. Yep. So Texas. Yeah, hopefully that would be ideal. Is Ohio State absolutely demolishing Miami? Texas Tech plays Oregon in the Orange Bowl on January 1st. Alabama is going to get destroyed by Indiana in the Rose Bowl on the 1st at 3 p.m. Ole Miss plays Georgia in the Sugar Bowl on the 1st as well. And then Miami and Ohio State play in the Cotton Bowl on the 31st, New Year's Eve. And the winner of Oregon Tech and Alabama Indiana go to the Peach Bowl, or the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And then winners of Ole Miss Georgia and Miami Ohio State go to the Fiesta Bowl. And then the winners of those go play the national championship on January 19th.
Yeah, I was watching that, and some of the worst football I've ever
My favorite
watched.
game of the
And
week,
I've never
Oregon,
even
James
watched that much
Madison,
football.
51-34. Holy crap. What a great game. Oh, my God.
I think that's about it with college. I think that's about it for college football. Obviously, we'll know more come New Year's Day, really, or after New Year's Day. How about some NFL? I saw Eagles beat the Commanders 29-18. Chargers beat the Rams 38-42 in overtime. Patriots beat the Ravens, which we'll touch on a little more here in a second. Steelers beat the Lions 29-24. Watch that at the casino. Shout out Treasure Island. Jaguars beat the Broncos 34-20, and the Chiefs fell to the Titans 26-9. No, that's got to be wrong. I heard the Patriots game was pretty good, mainly because I think you watched all of it, as you normally do. If you want to recap that a little bit.
I did watch. I do every time, even when they lose. So Ravens started off the game hot, drove down the field pretty easy, scored a quick touchdown. Patriots drove back down the field. Hunter Henry missed a touchdown pass, just fell right between his hands. Should have been caught, but whatever. Drake May threw an interception. They ended up getting the ball back on. No, it wasn't. It was just a punt. They ended up getting the ball back, or did it? Yeah, they got the ball back, drove back down the field. Hunter Henry made up for his mistake, caught the next touchdown. Ravens started driving back down the field. Derrick Henry fumbled. Patriots got it back, kicked a field goal, 10-7. Ravens drove down, made a field goal, 10-10. Patriots, right before the half, Drake May fumbled the ball when they were in field goal range. Would have been nice to see it 13-10 going into half, but it was tight game going into half. Patriots get the ball back. They get a field goal, I believe, on the opening drive of the half. I'd rather see a touchdown, but they get a field goal, so they're up 13-10, right? Ravens took the wheel from there on. They scored 2 touchdowns. So now we got a 24-13 game. They're up by 11 going to the fourth quarter. This is like with, I think, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, right around there. Drake May drives down the field. We saw an absolutely horrendous missed pass interference call. Like this was genuinely so bad. It even had Chris Collinsworth going, where's that call? Like he had him wrapped up and tackled him before. This was a deep ball thrown by Drake May. The Ravens defender wrapped up Kayshon Boutte at about the 5-yard line and pulled him to the ground before Kayshon even had the ball. Like the ball was still on the way. He caught it, but he hit the ground hard and probably has a concussion now. The ball just popped right out. No flag call, which is just absurd, but doesn't matter. Patriots still scored that drive. Got the ball back, scored again. And on the first touchdown, they got a 2-point conversion to make it a 3-point game, so they only needed a field goal, but they got the touchdown instead. Beautiful deep ball pass
Drake May.
Over the back shoulder by Drake May for
and
a
with
touchdown.
all those and May TikToks,
Drake May
I hear you watching
point.
all the time when we play a game. It makes sense.
Drake May. But yeah, Patriots drove back down the field. Drake May proved himself with a game-winning drive. Zay Flowers had some popcorn during halftime, obviously, because he again fumbled away the game. Gave the ball back to the Patriots on like the 30-yard line. They took a couple knees. Drake May ran a first down, took another knee. Boom, ball game. Patriots win, and they clinched their playoff spot. Now they just have to. I think they only have to win one of the next 2 games to take the division. But I'd rather see them win both and take the whole AFC because the Broncos did lose. The Broncos actually got destroyed by
the Broncos,
Jacksonville. They didn't do too hot. Yeah,
the Broncos
34-20.
like a pretty big winning
Jaguars
streak, right?
over Broncos at
That's
At
right.
Mile High too.
Right. Right. But switching back to some MLB, South Korean infielder Sungmun Song and the Padres finalized $15 million 4-year contract. The big superstar from Japan, Munetaka Murakami, joined the White Sox. The Red Sox acquired first baseman Wilson Contreras in a trade
Mhm.
with the Cardinals. I know you're a big Red Sox fan. You think that's good, bad, ugly?
Well, we needed a first baseman, so
I guess you can't.
I don't know if Tristan Casas is going to be able to do anything. I mean, he destroyed his knee last year, and we were kind of just scrambling to fill in that spot. So I like that. I know the Mariners just signed Rob Schneider, which he was hit or miss.
Mm-hmm. He was an outfielder, correct?
Yes, I believe they used him kind of as a utility guy, a
Okay.
little bit of outfield, a little bit of DH,
Because
just like a little spot guy.
I thought I recognized the name from the Twins. I think he played there for a few years. Oh, a little ways back at this point.
Hmm.
And the most recent one, the Athletics are acquiring second baseman Jeff McNeil from the Mets. So that was another long tenured,
Hmm.
at least tenure, I think, Met that is now gone, just like Alonso is gone. So I don't know what the Mets are going to do. They apparently want to just make it a Soto team and hopefully he can play every position on the field, which is just not possible. So I'm not sure.
Nope. Hopefully, the Red Sox can grow a pair of balls and spend some money on Bregman. That'd be nice.
That's true. Yeah. Make him.
It'd be nice to keep him around. I think that's a big reason why. Like, I think he wants to stay in Boston, and that's a big reason why he hasn't taken any um, contracts with anybody else yet because he wants to be in Boston. But
Mm,
that could just be me. I don't
right.
know,
Yeah.
but
Red Sox bias.
yeah.
So, and then before we wrap it up, we'll do the On the Mound segment. So, the question for this episode is what's your pregame routine and what happens if it gets disrupted? So, if you want to explain yours a little bit and see what happens from there.
Um, it really depends on the time. Like for me, I have certain things that I will always do, but I don't have a set routine. Given that I've filled in with so many different roles in my career, like I've been a starter, I've been a closer, I've been a long reliever, high leverage guy. I've done so many different things that I've kind of like I have those certain things that I will always do. Um, like I'll always have a white monster, use some biofreeze, ibuprofen, stuff like that. I found myself doing this weird little thing on the mound always where like I kind of bend over, stretch my hamstrings, and then kind of I fire my hips and counter rotate with my shoulders. And then always listen to shipping my walkout song will always be shipping up to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my song. I don't listen to any music pregame really. I just kind of listen to what's on playing at the stadium. I'll always long toss before a start. If I'm relieving and I haven't thrown in a while, a long toss before the game. But usually I try to keep it like I don't try to go 400 feet before every game, but I'll try to at least get out to 200, 250 minimum just so I can feel a stretch. Because I like I like the way when I long toss, the distance between the mound and home plate feels a lot shorter, in my
Mm,
opinion.
yeah.
And then in between innings, whenever we got two outs, I always stand up, do some arm circles, do like the Michael Phelps slap of the back, and then like uh, some shoulder stretches and maybe some plyo balls if I have. Usually it's the green 32-ounce plyo ball. I'll just do some pivot picks into the wall.
Gotcha.
And then I always, when I'm the first inning, I go fastball, changeup, slider, curveball, fastball. And then every other inning after that, it goes fastball, changeup, slider, curveball, fastball.
Hmm.
Those are my like that's what I throw before every inning.
Does that change up in warmups go to the catcher or does that go up halfway to the backstop? Or depends on
Um,
the day?
It depends on the day and the inning. Because sometimes it'll be really, really good that first inning, and then the next inning it'll spike like 40 feet. I don't know. I threw a bullpen the other day, and I hadn't thrown my changeup in so long. I was like, how the heck do I grip this? I just gripped it how I kind of remember gripping it.
Mm-hmm.
Threw it. It looked really good, and it worked in that bullpen. So I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna continue to do then, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I know you have a very specific pre-day, pre-game, pre-day, like the entire days. You have a very specific routine because I hear it
Mm-hmm.
even when you're not pitching. So let's hear that.
Yeah. So in general, I'd like to have the whole day planned out, regardless if it's baseball or not. But especially when it comes to baseball, wake up a few hours before the game. I got to listen to my workout playlist on Spotify, which consists of some heavy rock, also known as Tate McRae, Sabrina Carpenter, and the likes, and Madison Beer. Even I'm looking at it now.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, do that. Slam an energy drink. Go to the field. If when I'm starting, which I usually do, just hang out in the locker room, or if I'm feeling extra courageous, go stand out there with my hands in my pockets during BP. An hour before the game, or a little more actually, I go back into our locker room and take a nice 20-minute nap on the couch. That's where I actually listen to some good pregame music of Van Halen and Metallica and Lips of an Angel. Shout out MSU, great song.
Great song, great song.
And before the game, go out there at about probably an hour to maybe 45 minutes before, do some stretching, get loose, play catch. The bullpen before the game is pretty similar to every single start I have. Fastballs, both sides of the plate, changeup, which I know will be on for the day if I start spiking my changeup at 45 feet. I know there was a game last year I was
That's how
throw.
I am. That's how I am with my off speed too.
Yeah,
Especially my like slider and curveball. If I'm spiking everything, I know it's going to be disgusting that day.
and I know there's a game a couple years ago where I was throwing good changeups in the bullpen. I look at our coach, I'm like, this isn't going to be good. Next changeup I threw it, spiked it. I'm like, okay, we're dialed now. And I don't know why that is. It's just I've always been like that. And then go back to the dugout, hang out. Obviously, the timing depends on if we're the visitor or home team. But after that, go out there. The pre inning pitches are pretty similar. Fastball, changeup, uh, fastball, and go dominate the team. I just think that all that music beforehand at the beginning of the day kind of lightens the mood, and then after that, it kind of gets me excited again and gets me dialed in.
I know. I was gonna say I know most pitchers would agree if you have a bad bullpen pregame, you're usually gonna have a good day
Mm-hmm.
on the mound.
I would.
Um, I remember I remember vividly. I believe it was last summer. I'd given up my first runs of the year. I didn't get my slider down, and I gave up a bomb. Whatever. It was a good hitter. Hung the slider. He hit it. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Flush it. Came back the next day. Finch. He calls down to the bullpen. He goes, "All right, man. You good to throw today?" I'm like, Obviously, I'm good to throw. Like, let me back out there. We're playing the same team too." He goes, "All right, man. You got the ninth inning. Let's work on your slider. Let's try to get around the ball, man. Try to get that thing down." And for context, Finch sounds exactly like that
Oh yeah,
during contest.
I've talked to him one time in my life, and Gamble gave me a good warning of what he sounded like, and that impression was spot on.
Hmm. But needless to say, I went out there and struck out the side, and I pretty much spammed sliders the whole time,
Mm.
and they were disgusting. So uh, I think it's safe to say I got around the ball, man, and I got it
Got it
down.
down and around it. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. But crappy bullpens tend to lead to good mound outings, in my opinion.
I would agree. A similar situation. I think we talked about it last time. Their state championship game in high school, I could not throw a strike in the bullpen, and they go out on the mound and just dominate for the 6 innings because we ended up 10 running them. But like you said, I think a lot of pitchers would agree that seems to be the case. Bad bullpens lead to good outings.
Hmm. I don't know how hitters feel about bad BP. I haven't been a hitter in a while, but I feel like Xander sometimes will be like, "Oh, I had a crappy day in the cage," and then just does really good hitting. I don't know if I'm just pulling that out of my butt or if that's actually true, but
Right.
we'll have to get him on here and ask.
I think we should. We'll have to get on Fortnite with him again and tell him to join us one day.
Absolutely.
So,
I don't know if we can play Fortnite with him. We don't win,
well, we won a few games and then it went downhill.
and then we just got. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
But
Well, I mean, we were doing really good when we were playing ranked, and then the moment we stopped playing ranked is when we started getting destroyed.
right, that's true. Yeah. So, any other?
We just got to continue to play ranked.
I guess, which I think we're gonna go hop on and do right now.
Yeah, probably ranked, no build, and not reload.
Yeah, exactly.
Just normal ranked, no build.
So, you got any other closing remarks before I wrap this thing up?
The college football playoff committee sucks. The NFL is back to how it used to be, with the Patriots and the Broncos on top. Go Patriots. A USC or instead of playing USC, Notre Dame will be playing BYU in replacement of those games against USC because BYU actually has the cojones to come play Notre Dame. That's honestly pathetic out of USC not playing Notre Dame, considering the rivalry is 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, I guess. I guess we don't like tradition anymore in college football, but whatever. Um, from now on, it should be a decent playoff for college football. I mean, I didn't really like the first round, obviously, because I didn't like the teams. Just some of the teams didn't belong
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs, and it showed when you lose by 20, but can't control that. Um, I want obviously I want the Red Sox to spend a little bit more money. Hopefully, the Twins do the same. And try to make some moves,
Yeah.
get some players, make it interesting. But I'm interested to see what the Tigers do with Scooble as well.
Oh, that is true. I guess it wasn't
See if they spend some money on him or trade him off.
right.
I don't know why you would trade off a generational arm like that, but
People do dumb things for money.
yep.
Not necessarily
I'm
him, but
also interested to see. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Paul Skeens the next year or two.
that's
See if he
true.
gets a big money contract from the Pirates or if he gets traded for some picks. I mean, sometimes teams like that they just have to trade away those guys because they just don't have everything else around them,
Yeah,
around that guy, around that player to support it, and it's just not worth it spending all that money just for it to not get anywhere because you don't have the hitters to score the runs.
that is true.
But
So,
we'll see.
other than that, just remember anytime your coach comes to take the ball from you, you tell him to screw off and go back to the dugout. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch
Sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't.
sometimes. Most of the times it won't, but those few times when it does, it makes you feel nice and warm on the inside.
Yeah, but usually if you're at 140, if you're at 140 pitches, your coach is going to tell you to suck it and take the ball for you anyway. So
That is true, yeah. That will happen at times.
that's what he told me in May when it was the ninth inning. Sadly.
Yeah, that's true. But we will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.